Oh man, I don't know. I guess our energy's getting too big, brother, between the two of us. We're screwing with Instagram now.
Is it, oh, hold on, are we in retrograde?
Mercury's not retrograde yet, if that's what you're referring to. Mercury retrogrades coming up. Yeah, coming up. I think I'll look and see on Wednesday of December 13th. So Mercury is slowing down, but not for another week. Neptune goes direct this week. We can be feeling that. I mean, Venus is squaring Pluto right now. Venus going to Scorpio. I don't know. There's a lot of cosmic ballet happening.
Well, we've definitely had a crazy week last week, like you said,
Mm.
and I could really feel that the decision day. I could feel the decision day on Thursday, on the action day on Aries on Friday. I wouldn't say that I felt like I was taking a specific action, but I did. And anyways, towards it. And then what was funny is I had all this Taurus energy come in here on Saturday, and that was on Taurus. That was on the 10 degree. So it was like we were making decision, taking action, and then we were manifesting. Did Chris freeze?
Chris is gone off this live anyway.
Oh,
I only see you.
okay. I see Chris and me here, guys. Christopher's gone. Okay, we're working on it. We are working on it. Wonder what happened to Christopher. Okay, give us a second here.
Kicked out. So.
Kicked out. Hmm.
Wow, man. Okay.
Here we are.
Let's try this for the 10th time. So you felt the Taurus energy over the weekend. I did catch it, I think, on a replay. I don't know what. We're caught in a multi-dimensional loop here with Instagram.
Yeah, I have never experienced this. What the heck
Okay.
is that?
I have no idea. And I checked, I even went to my own personal internet off my phone and back to the house internet. I don't know what's going on.
But like you said, you saw the replay. You were here. I was watching you frozen on my screen. Lisa sitting over here, and there was nothing on our side.
Yeah, and I was watching you talk, like I suddenly became a viewer. Like, but it's crazy. Anyways, yeah, we're in a moment. So what we're you know what this might be? I mean, I don't know. Like, for one, I think you and I are both people who I find this with certain clients, first of all. So clients who are high vibing, we have internet problems all the time. Like I can literally, especially if it's like Aquarius and there's anything above 18 degrees in Aquarius, I'm about to tell them something going on in their life and we'll lose the connection on Zoom. Like we'll be dropped. So I've definitely noticed that when humans go through energetic shifts, it screws up the technology. What's that?
I'm putting on some root oil to ground my energy because I'm one of the common denominators here. So I'm going to take a big grounding of my energy. Maybe you
Okay.
can do it with me. Will this ground? We'll breathe together. And
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so breathe through the mouth 3 times and through the nose 3 times. So breathe in. 2. 3. 'Through the nose. 2. 3.
Feels good. I feel better.
Yeah, I was grounding us both.
Good job.
Yeah.
Excellent
So
job, buddy. Go ahead.
yeah, so what I was saying is that this one seemed really different. I mean, I always see people, like we were talking over the weekend, when you're reading charts, you see people come in patterns and groups with different energy. Like I definitely saw that. And this, I mean, I see that on a regular basis. This weekend was very pronounced. Like, first of all, I had all the Tauruses around us and other people coming in and had all this Taurus energy around starting on Friday, which was the 9th, taking action. And then we did a live on Saturday, and there's a lot of Taurus energy in that live. And I'm like, and my interpretation is that the universe is getting us to take action on our manifestations, which is what's happening.
Yes, we're manifest. So step 10 Sag was you manifesting the new story with yourself, the new narrative with yourself, which I actually felt over the weekend happened. And by the way, I was in a meeting with two Tauruses who are a couple on Saturday. So like it was a moo fest. Moo 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 moo. So we were all mooing. And I talked to Garry, my business partner, who's a Taurus also. So like I didn't even put that together until talking to you. But I felt, I don't know if anyone's felt it, because and that might be part of the technology too. Like today is step 12. So today's the Grandmaster Sagittarius day. Today's the day when the new narrative of your life changes. So we're literally changing timelines today. And that might be, what's happening in our technology, that you and I are we're switching timelines
because
today.
you were talking to me in one and I was in another. Like literally that was happening.
We're literally, I think, like skipping. I that's what I thought. I thought we're
so do you think that would be I mean, because it happens throughout the day. Do you know where the planets are like right now? Is there a shift recently?
I can find out for you for sure. Let me just see real quick here on my computer. And
I'd be curious.
I'll tell you where the planets are right now. So, big, huge. It looks like the sun's at 12. Where's the moon? The moon's at 8 Virgo. So, and that's the fastest moving. And right now, Taurus is rising. That's funny. Taurus
so the sun is what we believe about our news story and all that. The moon is making decisions on how we're going to emote in Virgo and what we need to do to embody it. And we've got this Taurus energy that's rising into the air, which is bringing the manifestation of those two things.
Yeah, at least where I'm at, like we're manifest. It is now manifesting. So I think we're literally manifesting the new timeline. And I've been watching we talked about this over the weekend too, these different channels from different aliens talking about how reality works.
Yeah, I watched that last night. It's super fascinating.
One thing that was interesting is this one channel said that like you can switch timelines from minute to minute, like you're changing a reality based on where your energy is.
Yeah.
But from a global perspective, with the moon in Virgo, we're literally feeling this shift happen today because Virgo is reality, so the embodiment. So you could say we've already gone there in our mind, but now in our heart and our body, we're making the dimensional shift right now.
That makes sense because we emote. And that's our moon, is our emotion. Well, that's when Virgo comes into the moon, whatever we've been manifesting or thinking about is going to come into action. That's the way. And it's 8, so it's going to be decisive. It's going to be quick.
Well, and this is literally the deciding moment that we're doing this live. This is the deciding moment where you decide that you're living a new story or not, literally.
Yeah, and somebody said Virgos are in their head today. I felt myself because I'm a 29 degree, which is 11, and lots of Virgo in my chart otherwise. I felt myself in my head today a little bit.
I'm always in my head, but yeah. Mondays are big meetings for us where we kind of sketch the future and look into the future. So we get really analytical on these days. But I knew today was going to be the day where by the end of tomorrow, you should feel like you're in a new world. So I don't know if you've ever had moments where you feel like you're in a different life in your same body, like you're a stranger to your own life.
Yeah.
I'm predicting that we're in that transition right now from the old era to the new era. And this is a big change. This is like, there's only 2 eras in our lifetime, I believe, looking at the astrology. There's the era you're born to and there's the era you're going to die with. And today we're on the railroad track between the two.
It's funny because we're going to Maya Con tomorrow, which is a place where we've done some retreats and stuff like that. And we've gone there. I think this would be our 5th, 4th, 5? 4th time. It's our 4th time. And this place is a time warp. There is no power where it is. It's out on the Siakan Reserve, preserve outside of Pastalum. And we go there just before we have a big transition. Like we went there just when we came back down to Mexico, but we went there just before we went to Vancouver. That was literally right before the equinox. And we always have this relationship with these guys recently over the last like 9 months where we go there and it's like on the beach. It's like in nature. We have these mega tents that are on the sand. There's a house there and stuff like that too.
Oh, wow.
And it just feels like it. So I mean, I feel like I'm in a different time zone when I'm there, a different place, and we're going there tomorrow.
It's a good in between. Yeah. To get out, to escape from your normal bubble and then to go back is a nice way of handling a shift. I'm going to be traveling over, I think we begin the transition literally today. We start to play the new story, but the full transition doesn't really activate until January 1st, New Year's Day.
So what is it? So when you say that we begin it today, so what does that look like? And then what does it look like from the full story? Is it, when you say you begin it, you start noticing things, like how does that play out? Wow, like this live is really weird already.
Yeah, I think it plays out in the sense of old storylines come up and you just realize I'm not that person anymore. I'm not that character anymore. That's not going to be the case anymore. I think, in fact, I've marked this week as the end of an era. So I think this week is more about realizing that you're you're complete. So I would imagine there would be little affirmations in your life, like perhaps major storylines where it's like, yep, and we're not going to get back together, me and that ex, or yep, and that's not going to be where I end up working. So there's a lot of affirmations this week about letting the old story go. And then the next week, we have the new moon where you officially create the new story. So it's about 2 weeks of processing the narrative and the belief structure in your mind. We're shifting belief structures.
Right. So what does this week look like then?
This week ultimately is the affirmation that you are ending your old story. So today is the day where you're not in Kansas anymore, and so you're sort of between worlds. You could say this week we are cosmically or astral traveling. You could say that this is going to be an astral travel this week. You are leaving the place you were and you're going to the place that you intend to be. And really it's about catching up and realizing that. So tomorrow is step 13. Tomorrow morning. So tomorrow, expect the unexpected. I would have expected this actually tomorrow. So as far as like literal signal.
Day in advance.
Yeah, me too.
I always get a day in advance. Yeah.
I do too. So tomorrow will be when you realize, again, with Moon and Virgo, Virgo is reality. So I think what's interesting about this week is we're feeling reality and we're feeling that we're not in the same reality really for today, tomorrow, and half of Wednesday. So you're going to feel your reality shift. You'll feel like a stranger in your own life, which I remember as a kid growing up and feeling like I didn't belong in this body or whatever. Tomorrow is the breakthrough. Venus is moving into Scorpio. So as Venus goes through Scorpio, Venus just, you know what we're experiencing, Venus entering Scorpio. That's got to be
it's boundaries and relationships, right?
Yeah, Venus is like the tuning fork. So Venus is the energy that allows us to it's the scale. So it's kind of like a little bit this way, a little bit that way. So when Venus is ruling something, you have the ability to sort of fine tune, right?
Right.
And Venus literally went into Scorpio. I got my own Serious Joy message right before we went live. That's what we experienced actually. Now that I realized, yeah. And what Venus is doing is saying, okay, it's now time to balance all these where the boundaries are. So it's sort of like when Scorpio was happening, you might have said, you know what, this person, I'm done with this relationship. I'm tired of dealing with this karma with this person. I'm done. I've moved on. And then now Venus in Scorpio goes, but we can write on Christmas. Like Venus sort of brings it back. Venus allows you to sort of fine tune exactly where that boundary is. So this another reason why I think this is where we shift channels this week. So tomorrow is the weird day. Wednesday, you get your orientation. Like, okay, I'm not in Kansas anymore. Where am I? And on Wednesday, Neptune stations direct. And when Neptune's direct, you're creating new karma. So Neptune direct is cause, and Neptune retrograde is effect.
Right. Okay. So this is where I've been feeling, because it's been a winding down of old karmic cycles, stuff coming back up that you would think was gone. But that's what happened to me when I was coming back from Costa Rica. It's like, okay, got to make sure all these emotions are squeezed out of you. Yes. So we got to give you 2 days of travel for a 2-hour plane flight.
Yes. In fact, actually, Venus is actually at the place it was when you were in that full moon in Scorpio that you have that issue. Venus is now in that place. So you could say that we're now opening up to accept and receive that lesson at that moment.
Okay. That makes sense.
We're
That makes total
digesting it.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so Wednesday, then what happens Thursday? Because Thursday is step. Oh, a second.
So
Today's 12, so 13,
today we start to go out on the ledge. We open 12 is the
14.
bridge. 13 is to the elevator on
Yeah.
Tuesday. So we're crossing the bridge to the spacecraft today. We launch tomorrow. On Wednesday, you go, where am I? You're in outer space. Okay, like
Yeah.
Thursday is like, I guess I'm an astronaut. Thursday's net 6, so it's accept and receive. Thursday, Mercury trines Jupiter, the Sun trines Chiron. So Thursday's when you realize, oh, I've made it. So today's like, I don't think I'm in Kansas anymore. And then tomorrow's
Right.
like, I'm sure as hell not in Kansas anymore. And then Wednesday's like, nope, I'm not in Kansas. I'm somewhere else. And then Thursday is like, I'm just gonna have to get used to being somewhere else, right? And then Friday's like, God help us. And then Saturday's like, okay, let's do this. So that's sort of the whole arc of it. So this whole week is changing channels. The next 2 weeks are us changing channels, basically. And then
It's funny even in our personal lives. So this week, starting tomorrow, we're going out to we're working with this group of professional fighters, doing a live tomorrow, and then we're going to Mayacon for a couple of days. Then we come back, and then we transit back to Vancouver. The whole team. We go back there for just under a month.
what day is that? Do you go back?
We go back on the 9th.
On the 9th. Oh, on Saturday. Okay. So interesting. And that's Venus will oppose Jupiter at that point. At that point, on that moment, yeah, exactly. Well, that's when on Saturday you open up to realize you really start. I think so. It feels real probably on Saturday. It's going to be surreal all week. That's what I argue. It'll be surreal. And I honestly think we're switching. I do think we're switching channels. So I honestly believe. I mean, I'm not sure what my belief of reality is at the moment because it's opening up now. But from what I understand, there are infinite possibilities, and the universe has played out every possible scenario that there is. And so we're all at the same time switching timelines at the very same time, as if we were all in a big train station with everybody on their way. So it's sort of chaos while everyone's getting on the train this week. And then it's not till Saturday when you arrive in Canada that you go, okay, I think I'm in a new timeline.
It's interesting because I keep going. I can notice our travel and stuff like that is very, very, very pointed and situated. Even like when we went back to Joshua Tree. So I go back to the old human garage, right at a very key time, right? And then I go back to Canada where the new human garage started. Come down here. Now we're back up there. It's just like it's almost like we have to go there for the energy.
You do. Yeah, from what I've studied with Ascended Masters, Saint Germain in particular, allegedly the spot of the earth records all the conscious. So the Akashic record, which is every thought, feeling you've ever had, apparently is designated to a space on earth. So Joshua Tree is a space of the conscious hard drive. LA is a space of the conscious hard drive. And in fact, the house of travel in astrology is the same house of knowledge. So when you travel, you're going through different data sources of consciousness of the Akashic record on the earth. And literally different parts of consciousness are stored in the material matter of that part of the earth. So you're literally jumping around but you're jumping around the hard drive is what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that. And, because I always look for the every day I look around, I go, okay, what's happening? I use the astrology as a way to explain it. And everything that's happened in this last year has been super karmic. And like we plan a retreat or we plan an event. Now, like the one we're having on the 16th and in Vancouver, we're having that event there. And that's a master rebalancing day in Sagittarius. And I can't remember what you said about the 16th.
16th is, step 24. Oh, the sun squares Neptune. Yeah, that's a huge day. That's a day when you accept the new future.
Whoa.
That's when you accept the new future.
That's why there's such a pull to this event that we're doing in Vancouver. We get people coming from everywhere.
The sun's going to square Neptune. I mean, that's whenever the sun squares Neptune, which is twice a year, you turn a corner in your spiritual journey. Basically, it's one of the forks in the road where you turn a corner. and you reconcile the fact that your heart is turned on to a new spiritual timeline. In this case, it'll be the future, because the new moon is on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I just recorded the recording for that. You're going to hold emotional space for, okay, this is what I want in my future. This week it's like, okay, my life has changed. Next week it's like, all right, well, if my life's changed, then what's my future going to be? And then at your event, it's like, oh, I guess it is going to be.
Wow.
It's the realization and the acceptance of it. You have to always accept the program.
So
That's one of the steps.
Dr. April says Saturday is the day to accept new future. Did I hear that correctly?
This Saturday is actually the Saturday to commit to the life you want, So it's like, I want a life of relaxation and being by the beach. That would be this Saturday, that you decide this is the life I want. Then at Gary's event, you go, I guess you're moving to Costa Rica. Like, so you realize what the future will be to embody that, what you committed to. So first you commit to the experience and the feelings you want this Saturday. And then the following Saturday, you basically accept what that means. What are the conditions of that?
Wow.
Yeah, this is a big month.
It is a big month, and I mean Sagittarius always is. And then what is the, out of curiosity, what does the equinox look like?
The equinox is going to be actually pretty powerful this year, because ultimately we have a finalization of manifesting every year. First of all, the equinox has to do with you basically accepting the program. So the sun crosses the galactic center right before the equinox is the way it happens. And then this year what happens right on the equinox is Venus will oppose Uranus on that day, and Mercury will conjoin the sun at 0 degrees Capricorn. So when the sun and Mercury is retrograde as of that time. So Mercury is going to come back from Capricorn, and the sun's going to come out of Sag. And right on the equinox, on the day of the equinox, the sun and Mercury kiss, which means that your heart and mind agree to certain terms of reality is what happens.
Would it also be, since Mercury controls Gemini, right?
Yep.
So that would also be the public presence and the way we communicate and out there. So for a media company, that would be probably a big day, wouldn't it?
That would be the birth of a new intellectual mindset, the birth of a new, it's really the birth of a new reality, new control is what it is.
Right.
But yes, I mean, for how you think of yourself. So the spectrum of Mercury is how you think of yourself, how you think and communicate in the world, and then what your big communications are in the world. But it actually starts with the self. I think the understory of what's happening this month is people are signing up for a new future, and then they're reacting and rebounding, going, am I ready? And that's the universe saying, no, but get ready.
Yeah. Am I ready? Not even close. But it's coming. Just
but that was your
know.
Notice. Yeah, exactly. But that's your notice. So, and the Earth and the universe is pretty gentle with this. So technically we are, and I think this is, right now we're shifting, narratives, timelines, my story. And, what happened over the weekend was like, okay, I'm no longer the victim. I'm no longer the one that's in trouble. I'm no longer the black sheep of my family. And so first you have to opt out of your story with yourself. And that's what we're doing today. Today we're opting out of the story with ourselves, and we're opting in. And if I'm no longer the victim, that means I'm not working for, take this job and shove it or something. It means that there's a lifestyle change as a result. Then it's like, okay, if my life has changed, well, then my future is going to change. And then when Mercury and the sun come together in Capricorn, Capricorn is the actual decision making. So when the Mercury and the sun come together, that's when you go, okay, we need to end this contract, start this contract. We need to sign these deals. We need to spend this money. We need to stop spending this money. So once it gets to Capricorn, you start getting to business about what that means.
So we have in December, we have a full moon in Capricorn, right?
Full moon in Cancer at December 26th.
Yeah, full moon Cancer, but in sign.
Well, yes.
So out of curiosity, what is that? Because I mean, Capricorn's all about control.
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Well, this is a big deal because this is the last time the sun and Pluto are going to both be in Capricorn for the rest of our life. Pluto's been in Capricorn for 15 years, since 2008. And that has been making us change the way change our power structure. And this all apex in January of 2020, when Saturn and Pluto conjuncted right before COVID, God universe started to expose all of the corruption of power, which is
Right.
part of what Pluto's been coming to do. Pluto's been coming to get rid of any power corruption. So what this full moon in Cancer is on December 26th, day after Christmas, is I don't feel like doing it this way anymore. So it's a full moon in Cancer, which is basically your wife telling you, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Okay, so we all know what that's like.
So,
If you don't feel
would
like
that,
it,
would that
you don't
end
feel
up,
like it.
I guess if that's the energy, I'm going to have a response to that. So that might actually be the result of a lot of people, even in things like relationships, right?
Yes, it's the last pinky hanging on. So I think the full moon in Gemini, which we had when you had travel trouble, by the way, when you had travel trouble, it was the full moon in Gemini, and
Yeah.
the sun was in Sagittarius. So that was the jiggling of the toilet as far as the ideas and the theme. So our mind was told, okay, quit holding on to these ideas, and that full moon in Cancer is saying, okay, quit holding on to these feelings. So letting go of your emotional blanket is going to be that full moon in Cancer. And that's the last thing attached. So I think those emotional attachments are the last thing attached to the old power structure.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. For what I feel coming up. I'm noticing this sharp increase. Now we've been talking about this for a while, but I'm noticing this sharp increase in personal issues in their body, accidents, personal health, stuff like that.
Yes. I think that's been the body purging the old era. So the body was embodying the old era, the old karma of the old era, and so we've been purging. We've been purging since the beginning of Scorpio. But that
Right.
that emotional attachment is the last mile of all of our control issues, all of our abuses of power. And it'll be interesting to see what happens to the narrative after that full moon next year, because I wouldn't be surprised if you saw in politics certain leaders, and can't even think of who, dropping out or changing because they don't feel like they're in it anymore.
Right.
You're,
Yeah, that's gonna look. We got a 29 Sag. I was trying to bring her up. Babyface photography. If you want to go live, can you request live? Because I want to talk to you. And if you don't, you gotta take a snapshot of your astro.com chart, and send it to me live, because we have a group that Chris has been guiding us through.
One Virgo rising. Wow, she's kind of an embodiment of today. She's kind of an embodiment of today's energy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly, and showing up today, and also that 29 makes her Virgo and a Cancer.
Yep.
And look at the 21 Gemini moon.
Sagittarius. Yeah.
So,
there's interesting energy there. Baby face.
So when you have a Sagittarius Gemini placement, like 21 moon, they are opposing, but when they're together, that makes them really strong, does it not?
It's a master placement. So a 21 Gemini moon is I have masters and grandmasters. So a master placement is when you embody the opposite sign in your sign, because now you've mastered the spectrum. And then grandmaster is that you have the power to sort of reprogram the energy itself. But yeah, you see that a lot. In sophisticated, wise souls, they will have a dash of the other sign in their sign. And that dash is usually the step number.
Let's see if we can get Babyface up here.
Okay.
We're going to try it. And I got another one, Gemini rising 21, Jupiter conjunct Sun Pisces. That one. Oh, there we
Here's
go.
Babyface. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Babyface.
How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you.
Good.
Well, welcome, twin.
We have the same birthday too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, December 20.
What's it like being in Garry's head?
It's kind of a crazy place to be, if I'm honest.
Are you switching channels every 2 seconds?
Oh yeah, maybe
Are you
every
theorizing
second.
the universe and the meaning of life from the bathroom to the kitchen?
Yeah, pretty much.
What do you do with your energy on planet? Are you a photographer?
Yeah, I'm a newborn photographer.
Oh, that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful thing. I've never even thought of it as a career, but that's just beautiful.
I love it.
Have you run
You're
charts of these
taking
babies?
you're documenting their first journey into the world.
Yeah, I mean, what an honor, right?
Yeah.
And what do you usually see in their face? Like, I can't believe I'm here. Why did I do this? No, I'm kidding.
What are you doing to me?
Oh, is that what it is? Is it that subjective? What are
Where's
you
my
doing to me?
mom?
Oh, yeah. Well, I could see when I looked into my son's eyes when he's first born, like the moment, it was like I've landed. There was a literal conscious awareness of I've landed. It was pretty profound.
Yeah, yeah,
The awareness in the baby. The adult is aware in the baby, it seems like.
right. Yeah, I can see that. And I definitely absolutely see energies between the babies and the parents, and because it can actually affect what I do, where I'm like, you know what, I got this. It's good. They're good. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Whereabouts do you live?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh,
Omaha.
wow.
Oh, Omaha, Nebraska. So we have a group of 29s and 0 degrees in the sun sign
I'm
that
in
we
there.
meet. What?
Are you in it?
I'm in there.
Oh, you
Oh,
are. You
good.
are in there.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't met you
Great.
yet. Then
No.
are
He's
you
been
like
quiet baby
are you
face.
stealthy snooping in there or what?
Yeah, that's kind of what I just read and take it in. I've always been that way, just kind of quiet on the sidelines, um, not sure what to share. I'm that way in life too.
Hmm. Are you into astrology?
I've I'm very surface level since I've started following Human Garage. I have your Serious Joy app, so it's very, very basic amateur knowledge.
Okay.
You know,
That's
she's
that's where we
got
all start.
the 29-degree Sagittarius eyes.
That's what I was gonna say. Well, that's what I was leading to. Because you're a photographer, I don't know if you'd ever be interested, but if you just started watching the charts of the babies that you shot, I'd be willing to bet in a
Huh.
year you're gonna recognize visually these babies and their signs.
Oh, I like
Be-
that.
because it presents in the face, I don't think in the body because the body's sort of a doughboy, but I think in the face you're going to probably see qualities in the face and energies right off the bat. I mean, if you're always seeing all these different faces all the time,
Yep.
yeah, it'd be fascinating. You can see because
Wow.
there are similarities. That's something I've been curious about with AI. I'd like to get an AI project going where machine learns people's signs and reads their faces, facial recognition. I bet you the AI will get to a point where it could actually guess your sign.
Hey, I do it all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I look at the body type, I look at the eyes and the face, and then listen for some visual clues. I do this for entertainment. I'm about 80% right.
Yeah, I've seen books where they had pictures of like Cancer risings, and just so you're like, holy my God, like a lot of there is something about the energetic form and the shapes.
Have longer torsos,
Yeah,
especially the women really curved in. Cancers
yeah,
have more curvy heads. Geminis
and
have longer arms and longer fingers and a pointier head.
right,
Capricorns,
yeah,
like a goat, a little bit longer, lankier, pointier.
yep. And the Sag women always have the horse trunk too. They always have that their curve, their bell shape. They're 1950s pinup
Yeah.
girls.
That's fact. If
Yeah,
if I'm a case, that's fact.
yeah. There you go. So you might see those things in the children.
So
Huh.
Interesting.
you're a 1 degree in your rising then?
Yeah.
Virgo?
Yeah. 1 degree Virgo.
Can you tell me what your Saturn placement is? Do you have that with you?
I do. 9 degrees
Hmm.
Libra.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
I've
Why are you
got,
asking about Saturn? What's your curiosity, Gary, with
well, I
Saturn?
mean, I think I have to take a look at mine again. I think I'm 24 degrees Libra in some Grandmaster Libra in my Saturn. And so
Ah.
the way I see it is, it's like karma brings balance. That's my simple way of looking at it.
Mm. Well, Saturn is your natural authority, and 9 Libra would be like an authority of taking the right. 9 is opposite of Libra, so that's another master degree. You have this theme going on. 21 Gemini moon, so
Uh,
where you're taking a dip of the other side, which is more for, I would say your authority and balance and beauty in your photography comes from that Saturn at 9, like when to take the shot, when to make the move, when to creep in on the baby, when to give the baby space. Like 9 is when to act or not act. And Saturn is an authority of when to act or not act in the relationship to something else.
uh,
So you're really good at knowing when to act. So you probably know better than the parents, and you're definitely that photographer that probably knows when to shake the rattle, when to back off.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
your Chiron placement? Out of curiosity.
13-degree Taurus.
Ooh,
Ooh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That looks like you're playing with some sort of metaphysical something in a past life and got burned.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 13 would be like multidimensional and Taurus would be reality. So it might have been some sort of you were trying to do something in life that hadn't been done before, but it could have been something as simple as, trying to create an automated can opener and cutting your head off, like something that have backfired as an inventor kind of thing.
Okay.
But that would mean that there's a fear of changing things in daily life, that there's a fear of changing the status quo, you know,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
reluctance, like let's just keep things the way they are. They're fine the way they are. That'd
With
be kind of
Taurus
13.
and Chiron, doesn't that make them want to like make sure everything's all the pieces on the map are in place before they move? Really good at making money usually, or creating wealth and stuff like that. Isn't that normally something?
Afraid of. They usually have money issues. Like Chiron and Taurus generation is like a group of 7 or 8 years. They usually lost something material in the past life, so they actually do. They're obsessed with making money because they lost it all once upon a time. So they're sort of like depression reincarnation kind of people, like that there's something in the soul. But they actually are good at making. The thing is, you're good at what you're bad at. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gotten bad at it. So they actually are good at making money, but they're afraid that there won't be. And at the core, there's a self-worth issue. So
yeah.
yeah, like,
Wow.
why this happened to me? What's wrong with me? I deserve, don't I get my chance at the bat? Don't I
Yeah.
get to make a good money? Don't I get a retirement plan? Like Chiron and Taurus. I mean, Chiron and Taurus, I mean, the whole reading is about money, like when
Wow.
they come in, and I'm just reassuring them. But you will make the mistake at least once. I mean, are you flirting around with technology in your job, or where's technology play into your life?
I mean, just other than necessity, like with editing and communication, that's about it.
Got you. Well, 13 is following what your heart believes. So the test is going to be that, like, somewhere you're going to probably stand out against the way it's done, which is usually
Okay.
technology, and you have to follow what your heart believes is true. And you'll probably have a time where you fail to follow what your heart believes. They're all like, "Oh no, you got to do this," and you're like, "No, no, my," and you're like, "No, you got to." And there'll be a time where you recreate the past life error, where you fail to follow you follow what your heart believes, and you lose money because of it. But it won't
Okay.
be devastating. It'll be just enough to where you go, "I won't do that again," and that's the point.
I'll learn my lesson. Okay.
The lesson is to follow what your heart believes, which will probably go against conventional thinking.
Okay.
Like your heart will be the oddball. Everyone else is like doing it and you're not. And you'll be the outsider
Okay.
when you follow what your heart believes. That's also
Okay.
part of the lesson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's actually coming up for, well, it's funny we're talking about this. It's not funny, but like that test will probably come next year when Jupiter crosses your Chiron at 13.
Okay.
So there'll be a moment next year where you have to follow what your heart believes or not. And you'll learn either way. So you'll either do it and say, "Oh wow, I got out of a bad situation," or you'll be like, "I didn't do it, damn it, and it screwed everything up." But either way, you'll learn what the right side to be on is.
Okay.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
okay. Before we go, do you have any questions for Chris? Anything you want to know?
Well, gosh, I feel like I should. I mean, I feel like the message I've received lately is just focusing on I'm worthy, um,
Ah,
which is kind of coordinated with a few things that you said. But I'm one who's always questioning it. Like, is this, am I telling myself this, or is this what I'm supposed to be learning? You know, just always in my head.
The secret is you will attract whatever you believe. So if you believe you're worthy, you'll attract customers who will pay for you. If you don't believe you're worthy, you will not attract customers who will pay for you.
Okay.
It's whatever you decide to believe.
Okay.
So people are like, there's no good men out there. It's like, no, you're not attracting the good men. Is what the issue is. They're out there. They're just not interested in you because you believe you're not interesting.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be interesting. You actually could do really well financially next year and overcome a certain hump
Okay.
that you've been in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely felt a sense of stuck for a while, you know, a few years.
That's what I meant by 13. You're afraid of changing the status quo. You're afraid of upping the game and changing. You're preventing things from changing because you're afraid things happen when they change. Bad
Yeah.
things happen when they change. Yeah.
Huh.
So you want to actually become a master of change, not a master of avoiding it.
I am a master of avoiding it.
Even then, I could feel the reluctance to come on the live. She's like, come on the live? I don't know. That's
Yeah.
different for me. I
Right.
felt that. I felt it was like, and Gary's like, we'll see if we can get her up here. I was feeling it too. Like, is this a Pisces? We're having a wheeler in.
You know, it's funny because initially you have a very Taurus look and in the face, not
Yeah, she does.
yeah, not a Sagittarius look. That's where, and I find that it's the moon or the Mars or the Chiron that really can influence that look.
That's interesting. Chiron makes a lot of sense because that's the embodiment of the soul. So
Yeah, that's
that's
what
a
the Taurus
fascinating.
is.
That's a fascinating. We should have the AI look at Chiron first
Yeah.
in the machine learning of the faces. Yeah, but you need to go for it. Like I think you definitely need to deliberately innovate your business somehow
Okay.
next year and take advantage of that. Because the thing is, you have so much pent up fear around innovation that when you do innovate, you're going to go really far. As long as it's what your heart believes. Like as long as it's what your heart believes, not what someone talks you into.
Okay.
Right. So there's a lot of interesting stuff for photography and stuff with parents, you know. What is the keepsake of a future, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the world's changing. You may just be running around with a crazy band of people trying to save the world with that 29-degree Sagittarius.
That sounds like fun too.
It all sounds like fun to a 29.
Yeah.
Their game. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, as a 29, you'll push the limit somewhere. So go for it.
Okay. Great.
Okay, we'll see you on the next call.
See you in
Okay.
the support
Thanks so
group,
much.
too. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, it's kind of cool because that small intimate group of 29-degree in the sun sign and 0-degree in the sun sign, they I knew them all at once, and I knew a lot about them. But now it's at the point where, hey, I'm in the group.
Oh yeah. You don't know them anymore. Yeah, it's grown beyond. Yeah, to the point where they know more. Yeah, I know. That's a moment, right?
Yeah, you know, and that is, you know, there's a couple moments like when I'm building something. That's one where I don't know everybody. The next one is when things are happening that move the group forward, and I'm not doing it.
Right.
And then the next one is when things are happening that move the group forward that I didn't do it, that I find out later on.
Yep, I'm having that stuff too.
Yeah.
I saw on our Facebook someone started a Golden Egg Project support group, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like that was a term I invented, like all sorts of things, and like now it's a thing. It's funny to see things born like that.
Well, we have in ours, we have a 40 Days of Truth and Purpose group throughout the human garage.
Yeah, a little subgroup. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's on our Telegram, and what they did is they took your
Cipher,
and then they automated the cipher.
I love that. We plan to do that in our next app. So
yeah,
tell me how it works.
Well, it's funny. I think they already found some things that they found some stuff that they were auditing or something. I heard it. I just hear these things.
And I've been inviting, for the record, who's in the program. Like these are placeholder words. I keep telling people, find the word that resonates for you and your story. I'm giving you placeholders. So
by the way, So Lisa, who is always on the, who runs the lives and everything like that, she's a 25-degree Taurus, and Jason's a 25-degree Sagittarius. So there's already a well-forming 25-degree club, and what we're going to be doing. And Chris, I didn't give you good enough instructions, but on the 29 for anybody who did join that and who may be listening to that, my apologies. What we're doing is we are putting we're putting a channel for everyone from 0 through to 29, and we're just trialing it out. And the reason why it's 29 is because that's the one I am, and the reason why Chris is in there is because Chris is guiding us.
Right, exactly, and it's the sun. So we had invited moons and risings. I had by mistake, so that was my bad. It's just the sun, and actually that's the best that it is the sun, because the sun is your heart and the heart of who you are. So it's much more obvious and clear. When you get into these other planets, they're very subtle. It takes a long time to find that subtlety.
Yeah, you can see. I can see when somebody first of all, people who have 29s in their chart I'll be walking somewhere, they'll come up to me.
Yeah, you attract them.
Yeah, and if I look at their chart later on, I'll find like a 29 in Chiron or North Node. And I also find that people that have a 29-degree Sagittarius and like True Node, we have a lot of those. And they're just drawn by this mission that we're on.
Yeah, we just saw one. I was just gonna say she was 29, the photographer.
Yeah. But I mean specifically if they're not a 29 in there, but a 29 in their, I have a lot of people with 29 in their Sagittarius in their True Node.
Oh, okay. So they're working to be, and you're a placeholder.
Yeah. I can point to about 100 of them that have DM'd me over the last 3 months.
Oh wow, that's incredible. And I was sharing with you that when I do readings, some amazing stuff happens on the reading. First of all, on a given reading, these people will book 3 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
So the general public books 3 months ahead of time.
Hey, that's actually a good thing to say. If you're looking for a reading from Chris, it's going to take a while. So.
It is, and it's because I do a good job. I don't let myself burn out. I only do so many a day, and I'll do this up to 3 in a day. And I'll be damned, all 3 will have one thing in common. So all 3 will have the same rising, or all 3 will have the same moon, or all 3 will have the same Chiron. So I've even had them where they had the same birthday. And so it's like there's some sort of magic there where your law of attracting. And I was telling you last night, they'll often have stuff that I have in my chart. So there's something there for me always, I'll ask them a question, how'd you deal with that?
How did you do that again?
You do thumbs up on an Apple. Are you
Yeah,
on
but
iPhone?
I've got an Apple.
Oh, then upgrade, buddy.
I upgrade to what?
To the next operating system, their latest version.
I think I am. I don't understand this.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
because I'm wanting to do this because I can use it.
What iPhone are you on? What number?
I think at the 12 Pro Max.
I do think it's 12 and above that has it, because they have these new AI engines and the new chips. So the new chips now have real-time AI.
Oh,
that's noticing things like this. That's watching the picture. The same kind of stuff you see in a Tesla.
Yeah.
Real-time AI.
It's what I see coming up. The speed, like I was talking to you yesterday, the speed at which we're using already artificial intelligence to scan, take notes. It's getting together. It's at the point where it can actually clip together video content 80%. And if it gets at 80%, it gives an editor the chance to go in and look at it and say, I could tweak this, put a human touch. It pulls pieces together. That's what we're using it for right now. And that's why we're going to be launching, if you haven't done it yet and you're following this, we've got our Fascial Maneuvers account that we have up. And we've got about a dozen other accounts that are going to be turning on here soon. And one in astrology in particular, which you are going to have to help us out with, of course.
Sure, of course, yeah. What's the focus of the astrology?
Communication. I don't know yet. It's just a topic, and then we can get the channel. What we have is the audience. So whatever that channel we want it to look like, we can get it to look like.
Okay. I mean, I'm real interested in doing some decoding of astrology and health issues. Like that's something I think you
Yeah,
and I
I
could
mean
go far together.
that's our focus. I mean, it really is, because I've used your step system to understand the body in a different way. And by the way, I'm meeting with that client that we talked about.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to
great.
meet with them later on this week. Just speaking of that, and it was the same thing. But when I did talk to you about it, it was the same thing. It's like, yeah, this person shouldn't be where they're at, health
Yeah,
wise.
we all have that choice, it seems like. From what I understand from you and what I understand from my spiritual resources, um, the human body is not designed to get sick.
Not at all. No,
Yeah.
it's all what we believe, and we're in the third dimension. Third dimension is 3. It's Sagittarius. That's why I think I'm here doing what I'm doing. I'm going to punch myself out of the hole that I created. Maybe I'm the only one here. Maybe you guys are just all a figment of my imagination. Who knows?
Yes, we're all looking around you in a bed asleep right now. Like, I wonder what he's dreaming about.
So, just a final stab at it. So the moon is coming. So Saturday is really how we think about the new story.
Yeah. So first, how has your story changed inside of you? I'm no
Yeah.
longer the victim. I'm no longer this. My realization I'll share with you is that I realize I'm right where I always knew. I always knew the story. I've never been wrong about it. I was born knowing what my story was,
Right.
and it hasn't changed. But what changed was I realized, oh shit, I'm here. That was the change I had. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's here.
Yeah.
One day I'll be this, and one day I'll be that. I realized this is one day. It's one day. So once you have that shift inside yourself, well, then what does that mean about my daily life? If that's the case, what does that mean about my daily life? How does that change? And that's what this week is about. That your daily life is going to change. The quality, the story, the narratives, the characters, the plot, it's all going to change. And by Saturday, you agree to those terms and conditions.
And then next week we are like the following Saturday, the 16th, when we have our event in Vancouver. That's where we're like, okay, got this now. I'm now in it. I'm living it. How do I make this? How do I bring this and make this work? Right.
Yeah, what happens is next week we have a new moon on Tuesday. The new moon on Tuesday is, okay, if my life's this, and I feel my future is that. And then next Saturday is, yep, it's that. So you sort of you have to light cast. That's what I call. You have to light cast on Tuesday. You have to. So keep in mind, next Tuesday we'll talk next Monday. So I'll remind everyone. But ultimately, this is a time where the emotions you put out in the universe is listening. So if you're singing "One Day My Prince Will Come" at the window and your heart is in the song, he's on his way. Like, this is a very fertile. This is probably the most fertile month I've ever seen in my life as an astrologer for creating the life that you want. This is the week. This is the week, the month, and the week.
It feels like it. We're going to be doing another fundraiser because we found a property that's about 10 acres on the water.
Wow.
And it's, yeah, the idea is when we want to have 80 people come. We don't want them to have to pay $3,000, $4,000. We want them just to be able to come and show up because they've been contributing, working, taking care of themselves. And this is going to make it possible. And that just came up. It came into our awareness, and so now we're starting to act on it. We took an action on it on Friday.
That's very interesting because I'm having surprise. So there's a lot of surprises happening too, surprise interjections. And this is a time where an opportunity lands in your lap. That's like opportunity of a lifetime. This is absolutely the time you'd be a fool not to act on it. I would say in general. Yeah, I would definitely. So what you're saying is there's going to be an HD compound, huh?
Yeah. I mean, and we have partnered ones that we're starting to work with around the world. We'll have about 12 up by the end of this year.
Wow.
But those ones there's a property, somebody owns it. There's a cost associated with it, stuff like that.
Right.
But it's our content, our programs running. And people, like you'll have lifestyle artists and coaches that may choose to go live there for 3 months and help people. But this
That's
one
cool.
here is just us.
I love it. Can you share what country?
Yeah, it's in Mexico here.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I wasn't
Yeah,
able to see.
yeah. I mean, for right now, it's I don't know where the world's going, but it just seems like it's the place to hang around right now because the United States and Canada, I mean, Canada, we're going back up there. I mean, I already feel the vibration, and we have our crew up there in Lions Bay running, and you know, like literally a bag of groceries at the summer that was $100 is $180 today.
Oh yeah, I think Mexico has become the new Canada. Actually,
Yeah, actually,
you know, I have friends who bought real estate down in Mexico, and it's just like filled with Canadians and Americans who are happy to have an American owner and come down to Mexico. But Mexico's a Virgo. You know, Canada and the United States are Cancers.
oh, that makes
Mexico's
so
a
much
Virgo.
sense. That's why for me, this place is, I get shit done here.
It's
I
your
feel
it's your place, brother. Yeah, you thrive there, and that's why the quality of it's like Mexico's funny. It's like affordable, but like a high quality of life.
yeah.
It's like you get quality vegetables for a low price. It's really
Yeah.
it's really good. Yeah, I'll be there over New Year's Eve actually in Cozumel.
Oh,
I'm going to Mexico. Yeah, I'm going to Mexico. My brother and his wife have
Cozumel, that's over here, right?
pulled me on a tour.
Hold on. Yeah, Cozumel's over here.
Is it where you are? I don't even know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
totally
yeah,
Mexico
yeah,
ignorant.
yeah. You're just
It's an island off the coast. I know that.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, you're right here. Like you're
Okay.
You're
great.
coming
Will you be
here.
there? Will you
Take
be
some
there?
extra time. We have the whole
Yeah.
facility.
Okay, I totally will.
Yeah.
I just said it was an opportunity, and I just said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it.
Well, we've been talking about it, but we've got the whole facility, so like it takes some extra time.
Okay, I will. I mean, I didn't know where you're going to be. I think you're going to be back in. When do you go back to Canada?
We're going back to Canada the 9th, but we're gonna be back here between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, well, then let's have a drink.
That's it.
We'll see. Yeah, I can.
Okay.
We'll talk. We'll work it out in the background here. Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
okay.
We'll sync up. It was nice seeing everyone. I love everyone. Love you, Gary. Take care.
Take
brother.
care. Bye bye.